Hi you guys, this is Sasha and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you clicked on today's video. I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy us coming up with what my TTC action plan is. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So I feel like I blinked, right? Looked at the calendar and I was like, oh my God, we've been trying to conceive for 9 months. Correction, we have been trying to conceive for over 10 months. That just shows my brain was just not here when I was recording. And it was definitely a mix of, I can't believe it's been that long, but also a mix of just sorrow behind it because it's never taken us this long to conceive. And if you're new to my channel, we already have a back TTC journey. Our first pregnancy in 2015 was a full-term stillbirth, and it was our daughter Shalea, and that was devastating. So fast forward to 2018, 2 children later, my 2 sons, I embarked on this weight loss journey and got my IUD in, and my goal, right, was to lose 100 pounds. So I'll put the picture up of what I started, and then I'll put the picture up of what I looked like when I lost my 100 pounds a little over a year later. And I was so excited. In 14 months, I had shed 100 pounds, and I just knew I was in my healthiest shape that I'd ever been in my adult life, probably in my whole life period. And I was ready to go. I was like, we know we want to have another baby. We desire to have one more child, hopefully a little girl to kind of bring everything full circle. So I'll continue. So in July of 2020, on the 21st, I got my Mirena IUD removed. So you might be clicking on this video because you are TTCing after your Mirena IUD. And there are some videos out there, but I wanted to kind of document what has gone on since my IUD removal in July. So in July, I got it out and I was around 188 pounds. So I wasn't at my low. I was about 11 pounds up from that. But we were in the pandemic and things were going on and I was just trying to maneuver. I had been teaching at home from then. I'm an educator, so things were shut down. All kind of different transitions, so I was not beating up on myself. In fact, your girl took this picture literally a week before I got my IUD removed, and I was just feeling like I looked good. Once the IUD removed, I had been ovulating, so I've been starting to check my ovulation even with my IUD, but I continue to check it, and I use the Pre-Mom app, which if you've looked at any of my TTC videos, I'll have the playlist up above. That's something I've used the entire time I've been TTCing. Now, I slowly but surely, between the pandemic and frustrations with trying to conceive and seeing negatives, every cycle, the weight just crept on. But not like how it had crept on before, like a pound here or a pound there. It was like 10 pounds a month. Until now, I've weighed in at my highest, which is 255 pounds. I'm just gonna round up, 255. That was a devastating blow for me. Like, to be at 177 pounds, best shape of your life, have an IUD and still working out, you guys, still tracking my food, still following a ketogenic diet, nothing had changed and weight just crept on. And by the time I got to the end of 2020, I was already over 200 pounds. So I easily gained 25 pounds in 3 months and I was just feeling discouraged. I kind of stopped working out once I got towards the end of the year and I started feeling like, what is the point of restricting my eating? My weight is literally just going up and up and up. And that's when I feel like my mindset started to just spiral. So I did set up my appointment for my annual pap smear. I wanted to get blood work and things like that just to make sure that nothing was going on. And I got my testosterone and prolactin levels checked. But I knew that that appointment wasn't going to be until March with my normal pap smear, just to make sure everything was going on. And my husband at the same time was going to his doctors, and he has diabetes, so he went to a urologist just to make sure that, he's older. He's 48. I'm about to be 33. We wanted to see, is it just our body naturally aging? Maybe the sperm count is lower. All manner of things. So to make a long story short, all our test results came back that everything was fine. Nothing was wrong with my blood work, even though I persisted to have this crazy hormonal acne and ridiculous weight gain. Pretty much what my doctor was able to say to me is, could have been that the IUD itself was suppressing a hormone to help increase my weight loss and doing the reverse of what it does for many. So yet again, I get to be the special one that has success with the IUD, but then when the IUD is no longer needed, things just go down here from there. And so I wanted to make an action plan and document it on what I'm going to do differently now that I'm 9 cycles in. Now that I've done all this testing, and I've even gone to some therapy to make sure that these aren't psychological triggers with me trying to conceive and it going all the way back to my stillbirth. And I'm still going to those, but in conclusion, thus far, I realize that a lot of these things are just time. And so with that, I can't control the fact that I'm not pregnant, but I can control my approach to waiting until we do get that positive pregnancy test. And so I want to start back on the 3 areas of my life that I feel like are most important. It is my physical, mental, and emotional. So my physical goals in this journey is definitely to get from 255 back into the 220s. I even hope, which I know is not necessarily a popular subject, that even when I conceive that I will be able to maintain or lose, because I am in the obese category. I'm 5'5", 255 pounds. Let me just say your girl is well over 50% body fat. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So what I'm going to be doing with the physical is I'm going to start off by calculating my macros. So I went to this app that I will have down below, and you'll see on my video that is playing while I'm talking, that I went and I calculated my macros. Now, before you can calculate your macros, you do need your body fat percentage. So it is important that you go ahead and you weigh yourself. Sometimes that can be a little bit uncomfortable, weighing and measuring yourself, but there are a lot of benefits to making sure you do that. So once I took my measurements, which is a little bit uncomfortable, got my body shot and looked at all my information, I wanted to plug in my macros into my calculator, but with some adjustments. I didn't want to be strict keto where I'm less than 20 net carbs. I don't necessarily know if that's more beneficial, because when you look at TTC or PCOS diets, even though they have lower carbs, they still incorporate things like fruits and vegetables. And I'm no way a dietitian, and I might end up going to see a dietitian, but I have been a health coach, and I did do a lot of research during that time in preparation for TTC. So once I calculated my macros, you will notice that I made my carbohydrate amount higher than I normally do. And from there, I decided to settle around 1,600 calories and mark myself as sedentary because I haven't been consistently working out. If you know you haven't been working out consistently for a month, calculate your information with sedentary pretty much you're at the lowest point. Don't say you're working out 2 to 3 days a week or 3 to 5 and you haven't worked out 3 to 5 days a week. Change that when you actually are doing it and it's your routine. You don't want to put the cart before the horse. That's just my personal suggestion. So once I calculated that, then my next area, so my food was taken care of, right? I got my macros, and stay tuned because I will be showing you a week full of eating. And with me doing the ketogenic diet or a low carb diet previously, I really just went back to the recommended things in nutrition I had already carved out for myself before, and just made sure that they were in the caloric and nutritional or macro allotment that I followed for this calculation. So it wasn't too much of a difference for me. If you are new to the ketogenic diet, there are tons of videos out there. And if you're interested in me doing more on that, I absolutely can. But then the second part was the mental. So as I mentioned earlier, I am in therapy. I've already done 3 sessions, and it's very reflective. And I also am a very spiritual person, so I've been diving into more prayer books and books on faith and favor and just different things on life. And that's more of a piece to help address some of the triggers with me having a stillbirth previously and gaining weight and now seeming like it's a struggle. And I say struggle because it hasn't been a year, so it's not a medical struggle, but this has taken longer than it has previously. All those can be triggers, especially if your TTC journey has had various issues, miscarriage, stillbirth, chemical pregnancies, infant death, or just infertility as a whole. And it's something that us, specifically in the African American community, we don't really talk about enough. We don't talk about the fact that sometimes it's not as cut and dry as you do and get pregnant. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So I wanted to make sure that when I was having my sessions and when I do have my sessions, that I'm focusing on the things that are really bothering me and coming up with proper coping skills. And I say proper in terms of me. I want to have things that are going to be useful and help me be more beneficial and positive in my life while I'm going through this journey. The last thing that I wanted to approach in my action plan is the emotional. So again, as I mentioned, with losing a child, there's a lot of emotions. I definitely began to feel around the 6-month mark that it must be me. I must be the one that is struggling. I must be the one who did not do a good job. And so it's all on me. And as women, I think as nurturers, we naturally throw ourselves underneath the bus. And it might not necessarily be us. It could sometimes be our husband. It could just be time. It could just be us needing to make small adjustments, tracking our ovulation, talking with our doctor, and just having the conversation. So I hope that this video has been helpful because I wanted to at least have the conversation. If nothing else, for it to be a record for me that I am stepping out on faith and realizing that in order for this to be a positive pregnancy when it does occur, I've got to shift my mindset, my physical, my mental, my emotional, so that I'm in a space where I can really be happy when those two lines come up. So I'm going to be working hard. I am going to be doing workouts. Like I said, follow me on Instagram, as well as I will have some follow-up videos to this coming out. I want to be very intentional about everything that I do. So if you have comments, feel free to message me or leave them in the comments down below, and I will get back to them. I am rooting for everyone who is just in this space, this life that we are in right now, trying to navigate and figure out where we fit, where we are now, because we're different. I am definitely a different woman now in 2021 than I was when I got pregnant with my daughter in 2015. I'm leaps and bounds more mature, have a different understanding about what works for me. And I also keep in mind that at the end of the day, this baby is going to be born and it's going to be blessed and it's going to all be on God's timing. And so I just have to be patient. But during that wait, I am working on myself so I'm ready to receive this blessing, arms wide open, and can rejoice and share this magnificent journey with you. So if you have any questions or anything that I might have left out in the haste of the video, please leave them in the comments below. I do apologize if I missed out on anything. I'm learning how to be a better vlogger and be more consistent. So I appreciate those of you who stuck around to the end. Let me know if you're thinking about having another baby or if you're done. If you have any suggestions or any comments or just words of encouragement for people who might watch this video, or myself included. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.